Liz. Nice to meet you.
Quand on est arrivé, on est allé directement changer pour commencer l'entraînement. On a commencé la journée avec du jiu-jitsu brésilien. En gros, c'est de la soumission et de la lutte au sol. Liz m'a d'abord montré les techniques, puis on a changé de place pour que je les essaie aussi. C'est vraiment complexe, ces techniques qu'elle m'a montrées. C'est plusieurs choses à penser en même temps et c'est plutôt difficile pour une débutante comme moi, mais sérieusement, Liz est une prof formidable. Elle prend son temps pour bien me montrer et m'expliquer avec beaucoup de patience. Le plus gros défi, c'est que tu as plusieurs mouvements à faire en même temps, donc il faut une coordination assez spectaculaire, ce que j'ai pas tant dans la vie. J'ai laissé Liz se pratiquer avec une autre personne pour vraiment la voir en action. C'est vraiment une expérience unique que je vis avec Liz. Je sens que si elle avait voulu, elle aurait pu me casser en deux et ce, sans effort. Avec sa pratique et ses entraînements, on voit que pour elle, c'est vraiment une deuxième nature.
Yes, good. Now. Yes, good. Now punch your heels to your butt. Yes, and then punch.
Je supposais maintenant, il faut juste essayer de se battre. Je l'ai pas fait parce que bon, je connais pas assez beau, mais là, ils se battent vraiment là, en essayant de faire des mouvements puis de s'arrêter un et l'autre. C'est vraiment impressionnant de les voir aller. T'as l'impression qu'ils bougent pas beaucoup, mais tout le corps bouge en même temps. En même temps, il faut que tu penses à tous les mouvements. En ce moment, elle se bat contre un gars, puis tu vois le gars, il a de la misère.
So we just got done doing a grappling session, specifically Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Barry Yoshida. He is a 20-year black belt, high competitor. So he was teaching us different elements on the ground of how to utilize and manipulate the body of your opponent to be able to control them and submit them in your will. The next step is to get changed over. We'll go to another bigger facility. On the opposite side is connected, and then we'll end up doing kickboxing and Muay Thai.
Après l'entraînement de Jiu-Jitsu, on s'est déplacé vers une autre partie du gym pour aller faire un entraînement de Muay Thai kickboxing. J'ai aucune coordination, ça je tiens à le répéter. C'est juste l'échauffement, j'ai déjà chaud. J'ai l'impression qu'on va rentrer plus dans le vif de l'entraînement. J'ai très hâte de voir. Il y a vraiment une complexité tant dans le kickboxing que dans le jiu-jitsu. Mais c'est autre chose parce que là on est debout, c'est vraiment tout le corps encore une fois qui travaille. Puis les voir aller, ça a l'air super facile, super naturel. Mais là, Liz m'a montré quelques mouvements. Puis c'est beaucoup de coordination, c'est de penser à tout ce que tu fais. En pensant aussi que la personne peut t'attaquer, c'est très complexe, très complexe. Je trouve ça vraiment beau parce qu'il y a un bel esprit d'équipe. Tout le monde est là pour s'entraider. On l'a vu à la fin du jiu-jitsu, tout le monde s'est serré la main. Les gens sont super souriants, ils te serrent la main, sont contents d'être là, sont contents de s'entraîner ensemble. Tu le vois que c'est comme une petite famille. Ils se donnent des conseils. Même quand ils se battent, tu vois, ils rient ensemble. Donc, une belle fraternité, vraiment. How did you discover that?
I'd been in the Marine Corps and I just wanted to do something that was going to challenge me. I was always lifting weights and running and I was bored with that. And a few people encouraged me, just seeing me trying to do new things, pushed me into doing MMA. I went in, they're like, oh, if you're going to do MMA, you got to do this class. I'm like, okay, next one. Okay, and I just kept going like, yeah, the gym's closed, you can go home. I'm like, oh, all right, that was great.
And you got hooked and then
And then I went back and did the exact same thing the next day and the next day for 4 years straight.
How did you get to go fighting in the UFC?
So I just always stayed ready. Every organization I fought for, we always let them know, like, hey, I train all year round. I don't take vacations. I don't take breaks. And so the first time that happened, I was in 9 days' notice. I've been training for 8 months in MMA, fighting somebody that was 10 years, accomplished as a professional, was a champion. They're like, hey, her opponent fell out. Would you be willing to fight for the title in 9 days? Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Wow.
And I didn't win the fight, but I just showed that I was willing to do it when nobody else was willing to. And then that organization that I was with was Strikeforce. They got bought out by the UFC and closed. And at that time, the UFC said, hey, we're not going to have women. There's not going to be women in fighting. And all the women that we were all signed to Strikeforce were like, well, what are we supposed to do? Yeah. Ronda Rousey was really good at building a rapport with Dana White in the UFC. And he reconsidered and decided to give it a chance. And again, they were calling around like, who's willing to fight Ronda to be the first fight in the UFC? They called everyone, they all said no. I'm like, yeah, without hesitation, absolutely, yeah, let's go, let's do this.
So now it's Ryker time. What do you have in mind?
I was thinking, because we're in beautiful San Diego and we're right by the ocean, that we would just take a long drive along the port and through Point Loma just to see everything it has to offer.
Les chemins que Liz nous a fait prendre, elle les a fait souvent seule et je comprends pourquoi. La vue était incroyable. Voir la mer tout en raidant, c'est inimaginable.
I think there's a few different reasons I like to ride the Ryker. One, it offers more stability than you can find on traditional two wheels. I can be noticed in traffic, I feel safer when I ride it, but I still get that fun pickup. I still get to feel the wind in my hair, but I get to hear music when I ride. I can actually take my wife with me, and before, if we want to go on date night, riding was something I did completely separate. But now I have the advantage of actually being able to take her and we get to have fun together on date night. I am part of the Road Warrior Foundation. It is a veteran-owned and operated, meant towards veterans, but I had an invitation to participate in their adventure therapy and go on a cross-country ride with them. And the idea of going on any type of vehicle other than four wheels on a cross-country ride was out of the question. I was like, there's just no way. My back's gonna be killing me, my body, it doesn't seem fun. But the idea of doing it in an environment where it's all about cultivating relationships and doing it with a goal in mind together and doing it with fun and adventure seemed different. My body wasn't destroyed at the end of the ride. I still got to go on a great adventure and go have fun with all these other veterans, connecting and enjoying it together. I accepted with being an ambassador for Can-Am because of my experience with the Road Warrior Foundation. It was a vehicle where getting to see, we have people that wanted to be crazy with it and they're wanting to do burnouts, it can do that. And then we have somebody who he'd been blown up and he had limited use of his legs and of his arm, and there was adaptive ways for him to be able to ride. Anybody was able to do it, and that's not something you can see with a motorcycle. And I loved that about Can-Am, that it offered an opportunity for everybody to ride. And not only that, but it encouraged everyone with the We Can All Ride. I love that idea, I love that mission statement. And I was like, wait, you guys actually care about their riders and you want to donate and help them and make sure that everybody can do this?
Well, thank you for that day. Thank you for the training. You really put me out of my comfort zone. I loved it. Thanks for the ride. San Diego is just beautiful. And thanks for your generosity, and you're a really inspiring woman.
And thank you. It was amazing to see your willingness to get on the mats and learn something.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.